So this is a pretty short film. It's 73 minutes long. And I thought that's a little bit short. I happen to have a really rare and very weird short film called A Journey. It's a Croatian short film that takes place on a train. They go through a series of tunnels, and every time they go through a tunnel, one person disappears. It's kind of a surreal, vaguely horror film that's about what you take with you and what you leave behind, which is thematically, I think, aligned with Cat People, because it's about what you've taken from the country you left and what you cannot get rid of when you get to the country where you arrive. It's faded a deep red. It's like this bloody scarlet color. And since Cat People, all of the horror is mysterious and there's no gore or violence really, I thought that color was a nice pairing with the with Cat People. So if you guys would like to watch that film first, so you get a full 90 minutes out of your $10, I will happily play it for you. If not, we can skip it and go straight into Cat People. You want to vote? All right. Who wants to see the short film? Okay, that's what I thought. Okay. Josh loves this movie, and I thought I would give him the opportunity to introduce it. So take it away, buddy.
Thank you. So for those of you who don't know, Cat People, very famous film, and was made in part because Citizen Kane failed so spectacularly for RKO. Despite the fact that its reputation is what it is, Citizen Kane was a big old bust. So RKO was looking for something to generate money, and they thought, let's make some films on the cheap. They turned to producer Val Lewton, whose name is kind of synonymous with Cat People, despite the fact that he's not the director. And he in turn hired Jacques Tourneur, and they collaborated on a number of films. But Cat People was their first collaboration. It was made for $150,000. And ended up being a big smash for RKO. They made 5 times their budget back, despite the fact that when the RKO executives saw it, they hated it, and one walked out saying this is garbage, and yet it went on to make a boatload of cash. So what do executives know? So a lot of things went really right for Cat People. Their limitations did them a lot of good. This film is famous for, as Skylar said, its lack of gore and its lack of sort of the things that we would expect from later horror films. Instead, it's a lot of implied violence or implied, sort of spookiness going on that's hidden in these deep, deep shadows. And a lot has been written and said about this film's marriage of film noir and horror, and it can't be overstated how important that marriage is to this film. Horror films had been doing great things with shadow for years before this point. This is 1942, Dracula, Frankenstein, all of these things, Caligari, all of that stuff had come much, much earlier. But this is the first time we're seeing what reads pretty heavily as a film noir play in that field with those tools. And all of a sudden people were seeing something, that marriage of ideas and that marriage of techniques and that marriage of style more than anything, really come together. And what I think really sells the film is who they hired for their lead. Simone Simon, who is a French actress, plays Irina. She absolutely nails the sort of vaguely Edward Said Orientalism sort of angle that they're putting on her as this sort of foreign lead who is the mysterious one that all of the milquetoast flat weirdos here in America are like obsessed with and afraid of and trying to control above. So she's really, really great. She hated Hollywood. She was the kind of actor who hated the fact that she was good at what she did. Never married, hated actors, but had numerous affairs with all sorts of folks. Most famously, I understand, was George Gershwin. So she was quite an impressive lady. But she's obviously most remembered for her amazing performance in this. The film itself is also strange. It's pulled from a variety of sources. Most people trace it to a short story from Weird Tales magazine called The Bagheera, but we can look back even further to Algernon Blackwood's Ancient Tales. There's a really great short story in there about a village of people who transform into cats. It's clearly borrowing from. But Val Lewton took all that together and worked out the script in conjunction with some others. So this is a really, really special movie that came at just the perfect time for RKO to make the money it needed after Citizen Kane totally sucked, and what a terrible movie that was. The last thing I'll know is the opening epigraph. It talks about ancient sin and this idea that this woman like is just confused with this like sinful, evil energy throughout it. But think very, very carefully about her compared to everyone else around her, what that ancient sin really means. It's fun to watch this movie with a modern audience. So we really hope you guys love Cat People. Thanks so much for coming out.